Alright guys, I'm back with another tournament story. I fished the second tournament at Wheeler Lake, and I actually practiced for this one a little bit. I spent a few hours out there the day before, and the reason why is because you got fish in all different phases. You got some spawning, some post spawn, some still moving up, and I worked during the week just like most of you, so I wasn't really quite sure what was happening. So you know, here in the Tennessee River, there's only a certain areas that you can really see them, and usually that's way back in a long creek or a pocket. And plus there was another tournament going on out there, and I kind of want to see what was left over later in the afternoon. So I went looking around, and I seen a few small fish on the beds, but really nothing that would really help me. So I started throwing a top water, just kind of scoping things out. And I actually ended up catching a nice smallmouth on a top water, but just can't depend on them in the tournament. And you know, I kind of fished around, and then I ended up catching one a little deeper on a jig. So I didn't really know what I was gonna do. So, you know, the morning of the tournament, I kind of was just sitting there thinking, and you know, I think I'm gonna gamble with the post spawners. You know, and throw a top water and maybe a swim jig, a spinner bait, or something like that. And of course, I'm always gonna have the bead as backup. But the thing down here, especially on Wheeler, is when they get done spawning, they like to suspend. So, you know, you target, instead of flipping in a tree, you can kind of reel a swim jig or a spinner bait through there and get the bite. Or like a floating dock, or even a boat that's tied up to a dock, they'll suspend under them. I knew I was going to start in the marina there, and I pull up in there and I'm getting ready to go in the marina, and there's one tree right there. So I mean, it wasn't 2 minutes, I flipped a beaver and caught a small keeper. So I get in the marina and I fish around, and I caught a few stripers, but I could see shad. I know they're not spawning yet, but I had a lot of shad following my swim jig back. So I kept going through the marina, and I catch a nice one. Guy. Okay. And then I go around the other side and I catch a nice one over there. Okay. Who is that, Lord? Get him. Okay. I thought I was going to do really well right there, but I fished a little bit more through there, and I almost come to the end of the marina, and I catch a smallmouth, just a little one, you know, just a small keeper. Hey. And I come around, I catch another small keeper. you know, I caught my limit pretty quick within the first hour, but it was a small limit. I had 2 okay fish and 3 small ones. So before I left that creek, you know, I know another laydown that's on the way out. So I come into that tree and I catch a nice one, you know, nice 3.5 pounder.
Okay, move. Move. Dude, you're crazy, man.
So then I'm like, well, I better just go flipping around. Maybe I can get lucky and catch a big one. And I kind of went in here and I caught the biggest spawner that I saw. It was like 2 1/4. I don't even know if he was that much, but I caught him and called one of the real small ones out.
Come on, guy.
You know, that's really all I had. And I fished around, and I come back in the marina and I really didn't do too good with the swim jig. So I know a couple brush piles in there, and I pull up to this one first brush pile and I catch one nice one. You know, I called one of the other small ones out.
Hey.
So now I'm thinking, I got like 12 pounds. You know, that's not very good right now. But so I go to the other brush pile that I know, and I flicked in there, and I missed it. And I'm thinking, what the heck? So I fixed my bead and I threw it back in there, and I missed him again. So I'm like, what the heck? So, you know, I almost left. And I said, well, I'll flip in there a few more times. And I flipped in there and I got him. And that was the biggest fish of the day. So that was pretty cool.
Move.
So at the end of the day, you know, I really didn't think I was going to do too good. You know, I knew I had maybe 13 pounds, maybe 14. I wasn't quite sure at that point. So, you know, I get to weigh in, and I weighed my fish in, and it was almost the same scenario as last time. You know, there was only like 3 or 4 guys left this time, and I took the lead, and I just had under 14 pounds, and I was thinking, man, there ain't no way I'm gonna win with that. So, you know, like the same scenario as last time, I go there, release my fish, and take care of them. And one guy had 15, and another guy had just under 15, so I end up finishing third, which isn't really that great, but you know, this time of year it's kind of tough. You know, you just kind of have to guess and gamble if you don't spend a lot of time out there. So that's kind of what I did. But this is the swim jig I was using. It's just a 6 cents swim jig with a Glacier Strike King Menace as a trailer. And you know, the weight's really critical. Like, you know, up north we use swim jigs a lot, but we use lighter weights. We use 8s, 3/16, quarters. But down here in the south, I've noticed a lot of people use 3/8 and halves, and they try to get a reaction bite from them. But you know, up north it's a little different. We use the light weights, and that's what I was using today. You know, I follow a lot of people in those marinas a lot of times, and I'll still get bites behind them using a 1/4 ounce. But that was pretty much the deal today. And of course the beaver always bails me out, and it was the same beavers I always got on. You know, 5/16 ounce tungsten weight, 3/0 owner jungle flipping hook, Magic Cross Swirl beeve, and that was about it. You know, I really was just one big bite from, you know, winning that one again, but that's how it goes. And you know, as always, when you're in a tournament, it just seems like when you're struggling, the day flies. But when you're doing really good, it takes forever, you know, and that's kind of how it was that day. But, you know, you can't win them all. But that was the story. You know, it was just kind of just a normal day. Nothing really special happened. But, you know, my tip would be, you know, don't be afraid to trust your instincts. You know, if you think you got to gamble, just go ahead and do it. Because I'm not really fishing for points, you know, I'd rather win, you know. The tournament format that I'm fishing, I mean, there's like 10 or 12 tournaments throughout the summer, and really if you win Angler of the Year, it's not a real big prize. And you only got to fish, I think, 4 out of the tournaments to qualify for their championship. So, you know, I just kind of pick and choose when I'm going to go. But, you know, the post spawn is kind of my favorite time of the year for some reason, you know. I like early spring, but I don't like right now. I don't really like the bed fishing deal. I mean, I did up north because you could see them. But down here, you know, you can kind of get lucky if you run into one or get a lucky bite. And I just don't really like that much. But come post spawn, those fish move out on the drops, and they suspend a little bit under stuff, and you can start catching them on a top water too. So that's kind of my favorite time, and I'm kind of looking forward to that. So stay tuned. So until next time, remember, when you move down here, you don't have to give up your Lineys or your Johnsonvilles, but leave your liberal politics up there. We don't need that shit around here. So thanks for watching.